Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince just proved something major when it comes to Square Enix. The game sold 345,583 physical units in Japan in its first 3 days on the market. Now, it sold so well, it broke past Square Enix's expectations, and with shortages, they did ask fans to consider buying the eShop version if you really want to play it. What does all this mean for Square Enix, and what does it mean for a couple of other games? Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake and Dragon Quest 12. Well, we're going to talk about that because I think I've uncovered some interesting developments when it comes to the history of Dragon Quest. These numbers right here, a comparison that we're going to do, and what's going to happen in 2024. You guys aren't going to want to miss this one. But before we get into it, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, click that notification bell to get all the latest Nintendo Switch, JRPG news, live streams, and more. Now let's go ahead and jump right back into this because I think that there is a lot to be said here when it comes to Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince, putting it into context and what is going to happen in the future. So let's talk more about the context here. Dragon Quest Monsters is a spin-off Pokemon / Shin Megami Tensei style take game. It's like their own version of that. It's pretty cool. It blends both of those very well. People like the game. I had an epic flip-flop on it when it comes down to it, but at the end of the day, it's a great game and people are enjoying it on the Nintendo Switch despite some issues with the technical performance of it. Now, The Dark Prince sold so much in its debut in Japan, it actually beat out the 336,027 units in sales in Japan for Final Fantasy 16. Now, both of these was retail only. We don't have the digital sales for Japan, but retail-wise, Dragon Quest Monsters outsold it. Now, there's a couple different things to consider here with Final Fantasy 16. One, that's on a much smaller install base compared to the massive 30 million plus of the Nintendo Switch install base in Japan. But it just goes to show you how popular the Nintendo Switch brand is, Nintendo is, and Dragon Quest brands are in Japan. Now, this leads us to right now at this point. What has Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince proved? I personally think because of these sales, in addition to the many factors that we've seen in the changing landscape of Japan over the past 6 years, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake and Dragon Quest 12 are being intentionally saved for reveal on the Nintendo Switch 2, in addition to other platforms, considering this is a spin-off and it sold that well on the Nintendo Switch. Square Enix absolutely 100% knows and has probably planned around having maximum exposure to their two biggest Dragon Quest projects to date. Now, there's too much money that would be left on the table if they didn't try to capitalize on the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 and have the Switch in their back pocket for sales. Now, I think this is the reason why we haven't seen Dragon Quest III Remake or Dragon Quest 12. There's no reason why they wouldn't have shown us it by now, considering both games were announced years ago. Square Enix has pretty much never done this with Dragon Quest in recent memory, at least. They are definitely saving the launch or reveal for something. And with all signs pointing to a 2024 launch for the Nintendo Switch 2, it really looks likely that Dragon Quest 3 and Dragon Quest 12 will be revealed as some of the big headliners for the Big N in 2024. Now, you can also look at it this way, and I think this is incredibly fascinating. The Nintendo Switch, a platform in its 7th calendar year, going to its 8th, has comfortably been the best-selling platform in Japan since it launched. Even now, the most recent Famitsu sales show that the system sold another 80,000 units and regularly has the most top 30 spots in the software sales charts every week in Japan. There is zero reason for Square Enix who definitely has Switch 2 dev kits and has probably had them for a while now, to think that momentum of the Nintendo Switch won't be carried over to the Nintendo Switch 2. We also have history to look at. This history shows us that Nintendo and Square Enix have a knack for making sure Dragon Quest ties into Nintendo hardware and even future Nintendo hardware, even before Nintendo's announced the name of that hardware. Dragon Quest X was a big reveal for the Nintendo Wii. Dragon Quest XI was announced for the Nintendo Switch, at the time codenamed the NX, all the way back in 2016. So Square Enix has leveraged Nintendo for quite some time when it comes to Dragon Quest, and that's even when their sales were nowhere near as good as the Nintendo Switch has proved to be. Now, there's many other factors when it comes down to this, guys. There are so many things that we can tie this back into, but I personally feel, because of what we've seen with Dragon Quest on Nintendo platforms, specifically Dragon Quest XI and Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince, there is absolutely a tie to what Nintendo's going to be doing. Now, I personally feel that it will be a dual platform type of thing or multi-platform type of thing with both of these games, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake and Dragon Quest XII. But if you're looking at it, the landscape of Japan, kind of going back to what I talked about before, the landscape of Japan is so shifted and slided towards what Nintendo is doing. These numbers here, a spin-off with Dragon Quest Monsters, all of that money that's coming in with the huge install base of the Nintendo Switch, Square Enix absolutely is looking at that and saying, okay, here is what we can do to facilitate making way more money at this point. Now, Square Enix has been going through a number of changes over the last year or so. They've got a new CEO, they've shifted things around, a lot of employees have left, they've got new people in, and every single series they has kind of went through some type of shift or change, or something has happened, whether it's Square Enix with Final Fantasy, whether it's Kingdom Hearts, what's going on there, the Nier scene, whatever it is. And I think that Dragon Quest has been the most stable out of all of their franchises so far. You kind of know what to expect, you know what you're getting. There really hasn't been a lot of upheaval from fans when it comes to any of the Dragon Quest projects, with the classic releases, with Dragon Quest XI, with the definitive version of that game, with Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. Fans seem to be very happy and set getting content for Dragon Quest, but I think that can all change. Obviously, Dragon Quest XII is aiming to do something completely different and to change up the series. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake is giving fans what they want. So I'm very excited to see how all of this plays out. But I wanted to get into another franchise from Square Enix that they revealed recently, getting a brand new game, and that is Visions of Mana. This is the next brand new entry in the Mana series, and it's interesting because it's coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox Series, and there's no announced Nintendo Switch version, which has got people a little bit on edge when it comes to Mana fans. Mana has a big history with Nintendo platforms, with Nintendo portables, and this not coming over to Nintendo Switch, which was announced at the Game Awards, has people a little bit on edge, some at least. However, I'm going to go over the information here, and then I'm going to talk about what I think is going to happen with this, because I absolutely feel this will end up on future Nintendo hardware. Now, let's get into Visions of Mana. Aside from the whole Nintendo stuff, because I just want to talk about that, I'm excited for this game. I'm going to be buying a PS5 copy of the game, and of course, if there's a Nintendo Switch 2 copy, I'll be buying that. But I'll be buying 2 copies, just like I bought for Trials of Mana on the PlayStation 4 and Trials of Mana on the Nintendo Switch. Now, Square Enix has announced the action RPG Visions of Mana, and it will officially launch in 2024. Now, here are the first details, which this game seems incredibly cool when it comes to the story and what's happening here, and of course, Square Enix talking about the history of the Mana series. So, a brand new entry in the beloved Mana series. Visions of Mana is the first mainline installment in more than 15 years. Visions of Mana will return to the series' action RPG roots and take players on a new adventure with protagonist Val, a soul guard assigned to protect his childhood friend who has been chosen by the fairy as the Alm of Fire to travel to the Tree of Mana and rejuvenate the mana flow. Square Enix released a new trailer which provides a first look at the newly imagined world of Mana in the all-new Visions of Mana. The trailer features action-packed gameplay and showcases a vibrant world where players will be able to journey across a range of breathtaking environments, battle with an array of enemies and monsters, including fan-favorite rabbits, while exploring a world where the powers of nature and elemental spirits connect. Fans and newcomers alike will also get to experience new and evolved gameplay with real-time 3D combat. Since the series' debut in 1991 as Final Fantasy Adventure, a spin-off of the Final Fantasy series, Mana games have immersed players in bright, vibrant worlds, breathtaking environments, heartwarming characters, and high fantasy storylines across many genres and platforms. Fans of the series can expect new designs of the series' beloved creatures from the Mana series illustrator Iri Yoshioka, and new captivating musical score composed by Mana series composers Hiroki Kikuta, Tsuyoshi Sekito, and Ryo Mazaki. To celebrate the reveal of Visions of Mana, popular series artist Hakan created new teaser artwork which gives players a glimpse of the iconic Tree of Mana against one of the game's enchanting vistas and a variety of the heartwarming characters that players can expect to encounter within the game. I am delighted to finally be able to reveal Visions of Mana, the first mainline installment to the Mana series in over 15 years, said Mana series producer Masaru Oyamada in a press release. The development team has been working hard to ensure that Visions of Mana remains faithful to the series that players know and love, while also offering fans and newcomers a fresh new experience with an all-new story, characters, and gameplay mechanics. We cannot wait to share more details about the game with you soon. Now, in addition to this quote, the official Mana series Twitter account published the following message from the producer. "Hello everyone, my name is Masaru Oyamada, and I work as the producer for the Mana series. It has been over 15 years since the last mainline entry in the series, so I am delighted to be able to announce Visions of Mana, which also represents the fulfillment of my personal ambition to create an all-new Mana game. This game is an action RPG where you will travel through the expansive world filled with vibrant nature and elemental spirits. We have strived to create beautiful landscapes to explore with in-game visuals that hold up to the wonderful teaser art drawn by us by Mr. Hakan. So I can look forward to seeing players fully immerse themselves in Visions of Mana's world of adventure." The creator of the Mana series, Mr. Kochi Ishii, has also worked closely with us to reimagine the familiar monsters, including the iconic rabbits, for the latest installment. Mr. Ishii's unique, cute, and charming designs combined with the innate fiendishness of these beasts to push the series' visuals to a new level fitting for the latest Mana game. The music is expertly handled by our three composers returning from Trials of Mana. You can expect great things from their score, where each of their personal touches shine through to brighten the adventure at every turn. We still have loads more to show you, including the comrades who will join you on your journey and details on how you will fight in battle. So you can look forward to further information coming soon. So this is very awesome to see. I'm incredibly excited to see Visions of Mana. I love the art. I love the graphics kind of being put to the next level. And I think that this game is really going to be a solid new entry finally, over a decade plus, 15 years. And we finally get a brand new entry in the series, and they're going all out when it comes to the look of the game, trying to push the visuals, and that's why I think that this is going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 game instead of a standard Switch game. And I feel that a lot of Nintendo fans are going to want to play this on their Nintendo hardware just because they've done that with the Mana series in the past. And of course, this series has a huge attachment when it comes to the Game Boy and the Super Nintendo over the years, the Mana games. So I'm excited to see what they show us next for Visions of Mana. I think that it looks beautiful. I think the combat looked a bit slow, which the Mana series is kind of known for, but I feel that there will be other characters that you can use that will be faster, but the game isn't done yet. They have a lot more to show us. There's probably going to be way more classes and different things, so very good, very happy about this. But what do you guys think when it comes to everything that we talked about with Dragon Quest, in addition to Visions of Mana? let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you guys for the next one. Peace.